locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Vader time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Walsh, the host of Truth to Power. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line, and we are live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the 3rd Street Market Hall in the Avenue. Shout out to my boy DJ Brother Z, always holding it down on the ones and the twos. And always remember, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube, 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. And when you go into YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, because we are on our way to 5,000 subscribers, and we need y'all to go ahead and subscribe to that. But also, again, hit that thumbs up like button on The Truth. Now, today, I told y'all yesterday I had an opportunity to speak with Susan Crawford, who is running for the Supreme Court justice seat in a hotly contested race that you see right now. Millions of dollars being thrown into this race. Susan Crawford scheduled an interview with her. She followed through. She came on, enjoyed it. I thought she was able to make her case. And today I'm so excited. I was really excited to have Brad Schimmel, her opponent, join me. But as I was supposed to have him today, Brad Schimmel's people called me and unfortunately had to cancel late last night. Very upset and frustrated about it, simply because of the fact that, a little bit behind the curtain is that I worked diligently to try to make this happen. I gave them a lot of different times that I was available. I told them it didn't need to be live. It could be pre-recorded. So I basically gave them everything that they wanted in order for us to get this interview done, because I thought it was important for him to be able to continue to come talk to our people. I know he was on with Dr. Ken yesterday, which, let me tell you, I'll tell y'all in due time. That wasn't like it was a one call, that's all, easy thing to happen either. And so really for me, I guess I'm so upset about this. I'm waiting for them to reschedule, so I'm not going to get upset yet. But again, I asked for them to reschedule. I have a lot of flexibility in my schedule to make it happen. And so I'm still going to wait to hear back from them to see if we can reschedule the interview. They really didn't give me a reason why they decided to cancel the interview. They said something came up in his schedule. Again, I did offer, a different time for availability throughout the week, because, again, I have flexibility to pre-record. I even offered after 5 o'clock just to really be as courteous as possible, because I truly believe that as we are a week away from Election Day, it's important for us to be able to hear from both candidates. I want to be equal. I want to be balanced, and I want to make sure that people can make their own educated decision. And so that is my absolute goal from Truth to Power and for you all. And so, again, I'm going to wait to hear for a new date. But overall, I do believe, unfortunately, this is a reflection on how many Republicans in the state kind of see black people as disposable, just because of the fact that I understand that they did call and reach out to other stations about trying to even make a statement. I didn't get the courtesy of a statement as well. But again, I'm going to hold out hope that they're still going to come talk to you all, Truth Nation. And again, I know he would join Ken yesterday, and I know the things that happen behind the scenes to get that to actually happen. And so, again, I think I am hopeful that it will happen this week. But again, I do think it overall is a reflection of how many Republicans view black people, right? And when I say Republicans, I'm talking about politicians. I think they don't really care too much about our vote like that. I think their ultimate goal a lot of times is to, try to get black people either to not vote for the Democratic candidate or to not get them to vote at all. I don't think it's their goal to, to get more people to vote for Republicans. I think it's a game of trying to reduce the vote. And so, I'm just disappointed because, again, if this was 1130 WISN, a conservative talk radio station here in Milwaukee, they wouldn't have done this. I know at our sister station, 620 WTMJ, he was able to come into this actual studio, and he made it happen. He showed up a little bit late, but he still actually came in. He was in and out. He's moving around. He's going across the state, doing a lot of stuff. That's why I wanted to make it as easy on him as possible. Because obviously I wanted to have him in studio, couldn't do it. I wanted to have him in video, couldn't do it. But I said, hey, I'll just take a call, right? A pre-recorded call. Did not happen. So, Truth Nation, we'll talk. I'll keep y'all updated on what comes next. Hopefully they can make this happen. Hopefully they care enough about talking to Truth Nation and talking to voters here in the state of Wisconsin, because I want them to understand that my show is not just listened to by the black community. It's listened to by a lot of people, right? I know who listens to the truth, and it's not just African Americans, right? And so social media reach. I have a social media reach, a social media following that it isn't just black people, And so being able to have an opportunity to allow for the message that he had to be disseminated amongst a lot of different people would be great. Matter of fact, there's a gentleman who actually messaged me yesterday on my social media, and he said, hey, are you going to have Brad Schimmel on? I said, actually, I am going to have Brad Schimmel. He said, that's great. I love the fact that you're going to have both candidates on. And that's a person that is a conservative, right? And so I just want Brad Schimmel's folks to understand that don't look at 1017 The Truth as just talking to black people. Look at it as talking to voters, because black people matter too. So 833-212-1017. We'll continue on with that story because hopefully, hopefully they will come on. I'm still holding out hope, and I'll hold anything else I have to say until after I get a confirmation whether or not he is coming. But again, I am excited because during this month of March, it is International Women's History Month. And I'm excited right now because, like I told y'all, my goal when I started Truth to Power was to make sure we brought on as many different voices as possible. And this is a voice that you all used to hear on 1017 The Truth. Now she has gone on to work on a great show on 620 WTMJ, but I asked her to come join me today, and she said she absolutely would. So I am so excited to be joined right now by Miss Rhea Riley on to Truth to Power. How you doing, Rhea?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so happy to have you join us here today, Rhea. Now,
you got you sitting down.
I got it. My producer, DJ Brother Z, he lets me know that I got to sit down when we have multiple people here. So I'm going to sit down when I do this.
All right.
But Rhea, I'm excited to have you on. How you been, girl? What you been up to?
A lot of working, a lot of moving and shaking. Less jobs this time. Just got 2. I usually had 4 or 5.
Yeah,
so
you had a lot of jobs before. Now you're on 620 WTMJ, spanning the state.
Yep, producing Spanning the State. Coming up on a year, actually.
Oh, wow. April
February
something?
19th was a full day. And then as we had our 2 official hosts, I think April 12th or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, that's great. I'm glad to have you here today. And
yeah.
So really, Rhea, what I want to do is I want to just know how you feel with some certain stuff. And let me know, DJ Brother Z, I know he's working behind the scenes, getting stuff up, multitasking, getting all this stuff together. Do you potentially have the audio clip that I sent yesterday? That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. It was the one with Ayanna Presley, I believe that's her first name, and I sent it on via Instagram yesterday. But I just want to know from you, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on since you've moved over to 620 WTMJ. We have a new president.
We do.
Can you tell me how the first 60 days of the Trump presidency has treated you?
Personally, it's coming. It's not hitting me directly yet, but it's on its way. I think it is for everyone else, though.
I mean, what would be your reaction to things? I mean, literally, there's something in the news every single
day. There's an insane headline.
How do you handle that? Somebody who, scours and looks for news and has a show on 620 WTMJ. How do y'all handle that? How do you go about that?
I think right now we're trying to make it to a point of we can't just do this every day. We can't just make this news about him every day. I think that's part of his plan right now is to just continue to be in the headlines with outrageous things that he's doing in his administration. And I think with my job, at least, is trying to weed out just speaking to the void. I mean, if you want to go home, we all have our phones. We all have access to this information to go scroll and see all these miserable things that he's doing to our country. And I feel like living in that space every day is just not healthy. But also there's other news that's happening locally or within our state that is important as well. So I think that's been my role of trying to help decipher which things we want to talk about and then also making it a safe space to just know that there are other things that are happening in the world that are important.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. But so personally, though, you haven't been impacted. But when you see the stuff, what is your reaction when you see stuff, this craziness going on?
Kyle, it's terrifying.
How terrifying? That's a big word.
Terrifying. It's not. How do you feel about it? I'm feel scared.
Yeah,
alarmed.
I am. Alarmed is a good one for me. I'm alarmed by it because I knew what to expect. I knew it was going to be a lot of nonsense that we were going to see. But honestly, I did not realize. I knew he wasn't going to play no games, but I did not realize that when you talk about removing people and like they're talking about ICE, the Biden administration and Kamala during her campaign said, listen, what you're trying to do, remove people, that's a huge. How are you going to go about this?
Yeah.
They are literally racially profiling people.
Absolutely.
Like this is what's happening in America. Racial profiling is happening in America. Nobody cares. I just saw a video where they bust into somebody's car because they thought somebody was inside, broke the window, right? Because they thought ICE did. Yeah,
Jesus.
It's crazy. Airport wise, I know something that we talked about going through phones is like at airports now, if you fly internationally, which I will be flying internationally at some point this summer or fall, is that when you come back and you land back in America, they have ICE agents that are there who actually have the right to access your phone, to ask you for your phone, to go through your phone. Like this is crazy.
It's
this
insane.
is not. And you know what's the most insane part about it is this. This is what bothers me so much, is that as a black man coming back from wherever I go to, if they question me, they think they'll be justified. But I want them to question every damn body. I want them to question a whole bunch of white Karens and think they're Canadian, because they did do that to this one lady who was Canadian as well. Question everybody. Right. I want y'all to question everybody, because right now we have racial profiling has become legal here in this country, and it's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. But then I think about, again, the Latino men who voted a certain way. Hispanic men voted 50+% for Trump. Meanwhile, Hispanic women voted, I want to say 50 or 60% for Kamala, right? So for the Hispanic men, this is what you voted for. And just like the same thing, I think about the Arab folks in Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan specifically, who a lot voted for Trump. It's one for Trump. And now they sitting there crying about the fact that, oh my gosh, they're bombing Gaza. Oh my gosh, what the hell you think was going to happen? You thought this man was going to actually help you?
Which is insane, because ignorance is bliss, I guess. To me, that just, it makes no sense that you could make these actions or take these actions to vote against your own self-interest and then feel like you're going to be unscathed by it.
Yeah, I think it's absolute crazy and nonsense. Absolute crazy and nonsense. Well, Rhea, we got a lot to talk about. I did want to pick your brain and see how you felt. Before we go to break, can you at least tell me, all right, do you think at some point it will calm down by the end of this year, or do you think it's going to be wild, even more wild?
We have 4 years of this, Kyle.
3 years and 10 months.
Yeah, we're only in month 2.5.
Yeah, it's early on. It feels like forever. It feels like he never left. My goodness. 833-212-1017. That wonderful voice you hear is Rhea Riley. Rhea Riley, you heard her before. She was a producer on 1017 The Truth. Now she's over there at 620 WTMJ on a show called Spanning the State. Rhea is joining me here today as we celebrate Women's History Month on Truth to Power with Kyle Walsh. But when we come back on the other side, Rhea was a victim. She was a victim, and I'm going to tell you how she was a victim, and I'm going to let her kind of air out some of her grievances. Keep it locked to learn why she was a victim on the other side.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Coming with straight truth.
Thank you for what you just said. I didn't even think of that last part you said of this. That's why you come to a globe head like you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do have a globe head. Look at that. Shining.
Okay, there you go.
I appreciate that.
No, but fair. Very neutral.
I try.
All right, then. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you, Mike. Take care.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
With Donald Trump dismantling the Federal Department of Education, we need to make sure we have someone we trust running Wisconsin public schools. That's Democrat Jill Underly. As state superintendent, Democrat Jill Underly has fought to reduce class sizes, expand career and technical education, and she worked to pass a new literacy law that will help improve young kids' reading abilities. Her opponent is Republican lobbyist Brittany Kinzer. Kinzer is backed by the same MAGA millionaires that put Donald Trump in the White House. And when Republicans Republican lobbyist Brittany Kinzer was asked about Donald Trump dismantling the Department of Education, Kinzer said, quote, "It's fine." Well, it's not fine, Brittany. We need someone to lead Wisconsin public schools who will be a champion for our kids and community, not a puppet for Donald Trump and the Republicans. On Election Day, April 1st, vote for Democrat Jill Underly for state superintendent. Paid for by the Democratic Party of Wisconsin, authorized by Underly for WI.
What if you could ask a question that leads to cleaner water, discover aspects of the far reaches of space, or journey deep into data to improve healthcare? Researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee ask questions, find answers, and add to our understanding every day. Progress starts with the question. It starts at UWM, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cass Bowers, Executive Director of All in Wisconsin. Did you know that there's an election coming up on April 1st? I encourage you to get out and vote. For democracy to work for all of us, it must include all of us. Vote to protect our rights and freedoms. I also urge you to vote no on the voter ID amendment on the ballot. Safe elections mean that no one is left out of the process, and we don't need more barriers to voting. Make your voices heard. Visit allinwi.org for more information.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Check. Straight up, dog. Straight up.
Truth Nation, the Gruber Law Office's Analysis Live is back and takes place this Saturday, March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Tickets are selling fast, so get yours at TALiveshow.com. That is the letter T, the letter A, then liveshow.com. Join Thanasis Antetokounmpo for a live show with special guests Brandon Jennings, Brooke Lopez, Kyle Kuzma, and more surprise guests who will be joining Thanasis Live. There will also be free food, drinks, and a great time. Visit TALiveshow.com to get your tickets today for Thanasis Live. Visit TALiveshow.com to get your tickets. I noticed that I had an error in there. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. I am joined today by the wonderful Rhea Riley as we celebrate Women's History Month. But 833-212-1017. Again, that's the Truth Talk to text line. Al, you're on Truth to Power with Kyle Walls. What are your thoughts?
Well, my question to the young lady, and welcome for coming to the truth today, and you, Kyle. My question is, if Donald Trump was Mad Dog 2020, Wild Irish Rose, Seagram Extra Dry Gin, Corbel Black, do you think that these Hispanics and these Black Republicans would be 10 toes down for him? Considering some of our blacks will make excuses for some Tonka Gin alcoholic Neanderthals? That's my question. Do you feel if Donald Trump was very Corbel Black Velvet Black, do you think he will still have the same praise from the Hispanics and the Black Republicans?
Thank you. I'll
hang up and listen.
I'll let our guest Rhea Riley answer the question first.
I believe they wouldn't. I don't think they would support it. I mean, we already know America does not like Black people. The Hispanics don't really like themselves, considering how they voted. So I feel like if
shots fired.
I mean, if they voted the way that's against their self-interest, there's clearly some self-hatred there.
Yeah, I think that there's a level of acceptance that certain people will have, and understanding that the voting population is 70% white. I don't think a dark Corbel Black person on the Democratic side will be accepted either. To be honest, I don't, because listen, the voting population is white, and I don't know if they're accepting people of a certain skin tone. Let's remember, Kamala and Barack, they fair skinned. And neither of them is 100% black, despite what people try to say. Kamala Harris is black. To all you fools who say she is not, she's an African. She's a black woman. So
I mean, we'll never have like a Morris Chestnut for a president.
Yeah, not yet.
Not in our lifetime.
Not yet. Probably not in our lifetime. But I mean, I'm sure that no, they probably wouldn't support him. But 833-212-1017. Larry, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts?
First of all, I just want to say I appreciate you, appreciate the program, and the fact that you have, that you at least allow both candidates to come and speak. First of all, my comment is. I tried. Yeah. People that kind of call people who voted for Trump. See, me, I look at both sides. I'm not a, single idea person. Both sides may have a little bit of something, that we all need. So to say that somebody is stupid or they're voting against their own interests, it really don't make sense, because as all black people, on contrary, we all don't have the same ideas, and what's important to you may not be important to me, and vice versa. So we need to give everybody a chance to figure out what they want to do and not try to criticize them for how they voted in their own personal life.
Larry, I do have a question though, because I was thinking about this as I was driving in today. One thing is, I don't know how you voted, but one thing I do have a question for is for black people who voted for Republicans. What do you think when the KKK is supporting the same candidate that you're supporting? What does that make you feel? And again, you may not be able to answer, but I just wonder what do they feel internally when they know that when they cast a vote, for somebody that appeals to white supremacists and white nationalists who don't like you. So that's my thing. I just always think about that.
Well, what I can say is two things can be true at one time, I think. So me personally, I didn't vote, Republican the first time. I did vote Republican the second time, but that don't mean I'm Republican. The certain stuff was important to me. I have 4 daughters. The whole identity or gender and all of that kind of stuff it's not a problem, but introducing it early and letting biological men compete against women athletes, if they want to have sports, they need to separate them, have their own sports program, just like the men and the women do.
No, I agree.
And
do you even with that case
I don't
there?
believe in abortion.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. So, I love having you here, Larry. Because my question on that one is that do you think it was more fear mongering when it came to the transgenders in sports? Because in the NCAA it was less than 11 athletes.
I think it was.
And so that's my biggest thing is that I agree. I've been saying this for years is that I don't believe a man born a woman born a man should be competing against sports because there are, regardless of whatever you do to suppress hormones, there is an unfair advantage. I do agree with that, but I don't. And, and everybody has every right to vote on whatever they do. And then for abortion, I'm with you on that one. I am not. I've been blessed and fortunate not to have that conversation with a significant other or another person, a woman. But I feel like that's everybody's own decision to make. I can't tell nobody else what to do in their life, just like I can't tell people not to have guns.
I feel that way too.
So yeah, well, cool, Larry. I appreciate you sharing and
Thanks
calling
for having
in.
me on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, Rhea, go ahead, react.
I think that's a loss on all costs. I'm sure he doesn't have D1 athletes for daughters. Why is that one of your number one issues? Did you not just see what happened with our national security today? That's my concern.
Yeah.
Also, having someone vote on what I can do with my body is also insane. And if you're a man, you should not be voting on my body. There are other issues that I went to the polls for that have much larger things to do than whether a trans person plays some sports.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that's why I asked about fear mongering, because the transgender. I mean, do transgender individuals play sports with women? Yes, there are. They're factually yes. Is it significant? No, it's not significant at all. I believe NCAA had less than 12 athletes out of thousands and thousands of athletes across multiple divisions who actually competed, right? Like it's not that impactful. Do I think it's fair? No, but it's not impactful.
But why is that the one thing bringing you to the polls to vote for the certain person? Why are you voting for someone who is affiliated with the KKK? And we've known what they've done to our people and other people.
I feel like people make decisions based off how they feel in the moment. And I'll be honest, I think that a lot of people are very and that's saying Larry sounds like he's very educated. He made an educated decision. But I feel like a lot of people are very uneducated when it comes to exactly how the policies really are going to impact you. Like Project 2025, for example, right? We heard about that. Shout out to Ben Jamin, Carrie Noni, and Tori Lowe for asking Eric Hovde about Project 2025. That blew up on a national scale, and after they talked about that, all of a sudden we saw the Democrats take that as a playbook to talk about that. And many people tried to deny that Project 2025 wasn't a thing. You even heard Eric Hovde say to Ben when he asked that question, oh, you tell me about it. Eric Hovde knew damn well he knew exactly what it was. Right. Donald Trump knew exactly what it was, because when you look at Project 2025, that is exactly what has been laid out. What Donald Trump has done has followed exactly that. And so I just feel like a lot of times people just pick a side but don't pick to educate themselves. Like, I understand that I'm biased towards a certain way. There's things from the Democratic Party I don't agree with, but overall what it comes down to me, Rhea, is I care more about helping everybody than care about, oh, let's do trickle-down economics where we can, give tax cuts to the rich. Let me tell you something about rich folks. You know why rich folks are rich? It's because they save their money. They properly invest their money. When you tax them less, they're not going to spend more money. No, they're smart with their money. People have to understand that the reason why businesses, and here goes Kelvin Purr on the talking text line. Kelvin, there's KKK that supporters in the Democratic Party also. Show me a public endorsement. We can show me a public endorsement in the last 2 elections, then we can have that conversation. But again, let's stop with the Democratic Party and KKK that happened years and years and years and years ago. But back to what I was saying about just overall when it comes to, I lost my train of thought talking about election stuff, but
I just think that it's a shame that people just did not vote for their own self-interest. You got people getting their families deported.
Well, some people did. Some people felt like they did, though, Rhea. Some people felt like they voted for their own self-interest. But now what are you going to lose? Look at all the things you're losing right now, or things that are on the line to be lost. No, I agree. I think the black community, if you voted for a Republican and you're black, I feel like you voted against your own personal interests of our community, right? Like Larry just called in, talked about his little girls, right? I don't know what school district they go to. I have no idea. Right. But, if they do go to MPS, if he lives in Milwaukee, if they do go to MPS, there are things that are going to negatively or have already negatively impacted students. And I already talked about the fact that for special education students in Milwaukee public schools, there was government funding to help for graduate students at UW-Madison, one of the top institutions in this country, to be able to teach inside of MPS while going to school as well, right? So that is a plus for your child to be able to get some top up-and-coming students to be working with your actual student. So there's things that impact us, and so I do think it's very selfish to only think about yourself when you go to the voter election to go vote. I think we should be thinking about the whole. But that's why I have a mindset, and other people have a certain mindset.
Okay.
Why you say it like that?
I have a lot. That's just disappointing to me. Just because there's so much now that's on the line, and whether your kids can play some sport and who they play it with is not on my I mean, I know, again, my
you don't have girls, interest, you have daughters.
But then, will they even be able to play these sports? What if they don't have funding to have a sports team now in school, in their education?
I guess it's to be seen. The one that really does bother me is the
will your black daughters even be able to go to college?
No, they'll be able to go to college now. Maybe HBCU, but
and what, have the walls closed down on them while they're trying to learn?
I guess my biggest thing is I think overall what we're going to see is the haves and the have-nots, because what you're seeing on a national level is that you are seeing there's a separation, and there's going to be a continued separation, because you have a lot of individuals who are in power who are wealthy, right? And so one thing about Elon Musk entered this race for multiple reasons, right? Because he understands there's an agenda that's trying to be pushed, but also, I'll tell you this right now, there's a lawsuit that Elon Musk has on the state of Wisconsin because they do not allow for dealerships to sell directly to consumers. There must be like a dealership, like a Tesla dealer, like a third-party dealership, but he wants to change that because he doesn't think it's fair. He wants to have a Tesla dealership that sells directly to consumers, and so that's why he's suing the state of Wisconsin.
Which is fine as a businessman, but not as he's not even a U.S. citizen.
I understand. Don't give me. I've talked about Rhea. I know you don't get a chance to listen. I've talked about my disdain for Elon Musk being a black South African who comes from a family that supported apartheid. A white South African. Sorry about that. It's just hard to say white South African because it's mostly black people there. But a white South African who supported the apartheid. Like it is extremely hard.
He's an active Nazi.
It is extremely hard for me to I don't support that at all. But 833-212-1017. We're going to take one last call. We're going to move on from this conversation, even though it's a good one. And then we're going to talk about why Rhea was victimized. But 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. Al from Sherman Park. What are you calling about today?
Yeah, I'm just to say right off the front, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I think that's how you could have some of the come to the same conclusion on what you're going to vote for as the Klan. Because if you think about it, Bernie Sanders is not a big proponent of immigration, so the Klan is not a big proponent of immigration. Would you say that Bernie Sanders is a Klansman?
No, I would say Bernie Sanders, first and foremost, Bernie Sanders, who marched for civil rights back in the day, I would not call him a Klansman. And also Bernie Sanders, the differences I have with Bernie Sanders is the fact that Bernie Sanders he doesn't focus on race that much. He talks about race, but he's more focused on economic inequalities. He's more focused on bringing up the lower class, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, it does not matter. So that's what he's focused on. But I don't think comparing Bernie Sanders, somebody who actively back when he was a young man made a decision in the 60s to march for civil rights, I don't think that's a good comparison to call him a Klansman because he's not for immigration. KKK is not only not for immigration, but they're also not for they're pro-segregation. They don't want to see black people get uplifted whatsoever. So I don't think comparing somebody like Bernie Sanders to the Ku Klux Klan who actively murdered black bodies back in the early 1900s and late 1800s and lynched people is a good comparison.
Right.
I'm just explaining how you could have different motivations and end up voting for the same candidate.
I'm just saying. I just think it's tough when you're talking about the KKK and white nationalists. They supported Donald Trump, and some of these white Christian nationalists as well support Donald Trump because, listen, a lot of these people, Al, a lot of people, both sides are very racist. You just got one side that it seems a little bit more open-minded to it. And the sick thing that I feel Donald Trump has done, especially with this diversity, equity, and inclusion, because we're not going to talk about it today, but what Pete Hegseth is he is in the position because he was close to Trump. He is unqualified. He can't even hold anything to what Lloyd Austin was. And remember, there was controversy when Lloyd Austin had surgery because he had cancer, and he had surgery and he did not notify the President of the United States. They blew this up everywhere. Now you have the Secretary of Defense in a text message group where he is texting a journalist is part of this group. He didn't know, but a journalist was in this group in a non-secure line texting him about the plans that we have to bomb another country. That is an embarrassment, absolute embarrassment. But it should be plastered everywhere. But This is what I'm talking about. That is what a DEI hire is. That's what it is right there. That's what you got to understand. That's what DEI is. That's getting the advantage, and that's what Pete Hegseth got. He got the advantage to get hired even though he was unqualified. But I don't see people out there outraged about this unqualified individual who got hired even though he had no business being in that position. There's a lot of other Republicans that deserve that position.
Well, I disagree that because someone in his chat added the journalist that's 100% his fault.
Oh, no.
I don't agree with that.
Al, if you are in charge of something, right? It falls under you. If you are a manager somewhere and somebody does something and it causes for something bad to happen for the company, you are at fault for that, period. That's exactly what that is. So he needs to be more responsible. He needs to be a lot more responsible to do that. The fact that they even had that chat in a non-secure line that they were not supposed to and follow protocol, that is a problem as well. They did not follow the proper protocol, what they were supposed to be doing, and that could have been a national security disaster. Now imagine that person, which I'm glad he did not do that, imagine that person let some people know. That could have cost American lives.
Right.
So we got to understand, we got to stop sugarcoating it because they're Republicans and you voted a certain way. Let's stop with that nonsense. I come on this station all the time and I bash the local politicians that are Democrats, even though I typically vote blue. I bash them because they need to be better and do better, because when they do better and they be better, that means my community is better. So we need to stop. So all y'all black Republicans who call in, listen, I really do. Al from Sherman Park, I met you in person, fantastic dude, gentleman, great guy. I don't give a damn what you vote for or whatever it is. That's a man that's going to be working for the community, and I love that. But let's stop making excuses when Republicans make mistakes.
Right.
Let's stop doing that, because we know damn well if something like that happened under Biden administration, you'd be the first person calling in, raising your hand, and talking about it nonstop. So let's just be equal and let's be even.
Call a spade a spade.
That's all I care about, because let me tell you, if I was on there when Joe Biden made mistakes, I would have definitely, when Joe Biden got up there and stumbled and bumbled during the debate, I would have talked bad about Joe. I would have. So let's stop with all that. 833-212-1017. Y'all got me fired up. On the other side, we're going to talk about why Rhea was a victim of these little Kia boys. So we're going to talk about that. Keep it live. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube, 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. We got some video clips for you, some good information, but Rhea's going to do a little storytelling of how she became a victim.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 101.7 The Truth App, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Elon Musk and Donald Trump are out of control, slashing healthcare and food for hungry kids, eliminating the Department of Education. Now, Musk and Trump are trying to buy a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court, spending millions to elect extremist Brad Schimmel. And if elected, Schimmel wants to criminalize abortion, even in cases of rape and incest. Brad Schimmel, an extreme rubber stamp for Musk and Trump, and wrong for Wisconsin. We need justices who are fair, who know right from wrong. Judge Susan Crawford has spent her life standing up for Wisconsin and keeping us safe. She'll always protect our right to choose, and Crawford will be the check and balance we need against Elon Musk and Donald Trump. On April 1st, vote Susan Crawford for Supreme Court. Go to www.iwillvote.com to find out where and how to cast your vote by April 1st. Paid for by Power to the Polls Action Fund, not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Truth Nation, gear up for a great time as Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Set for April 24th to the 26th, Milwaukee Tailgate Week features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, attractions, brews, restaurants, and venues. As the 2025 draft takes center stage in Green Bay, Sports Milwaukee and the Cream City are excited to welcome the football world back to Wisconsin. For tickets, go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
It's time for the 32nd Annual Young Gentlemen's Scholarship Botillion, presented by the Seven Jewels Foundation and the Delta Chi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. A Botillion young gentleman is a high school senior in Milwaukee who's about to embark on adulthood and has chosen to pursue higher education, college, trade, or technical school. One lucky bowl will win a $5,000 scholarship. Apply by February 21st, 2025, and for more information, call Kevin Patterson at 414-364-2835.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth, powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snime. Milwaukee Bucks dropping a tough one last night in Phoenix as Devin Booker hit the go-ahead bucket with under 3 seconds remaining as Milwaukee fell to the Suns 108-106. After the game, head coach Doc Rivers on the missed chances late in the game.
I think we got a wide-open shot by Gary Green, a wide-open shot by Gary Trent down the stretch of the game that we just didn't make. It's a make-miss league. I think Giannis made the right decision in those plays.
Next up for the Bucks is Denver on Wednesday night. Over to baseball, where the Milwaukee Brewers wrapped up their spring training with a 4-2 win over the Rockies on Monday. Next up is the season opener in New York against the Yankees on Thursday. And lastly, over to college hoops, where Juju Watkins will miss the rest of the NCAA tournament. ESPN's Sham Charania reporting that the sophomore guard tore her ACL in her right knee. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
More of Truth to Power is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah, you ain't like that, you ain't catch a murder. I be threatening me on my DM, we ain't never worked.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm Kyle Walsh, the host of Truth to Power, and I'm joined by Rhea Riley. Yes, the Rhea Riley. You heard her on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes before, and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. Now she is the producer of Spanning the State on 620 WTMJ. We're here celebrating Women's History Month, as I have brought on a lot of different women to come on, African Americans around our company, to come and talk and share. And Rhea, as y'all can watch streamers live on YouTube, 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Rhea, I want you to tell your story. So right now there is this trend going around where cars are being stolen. First, it started with the Kia boys. Did you have a Kia?
I had 2 Kias.
You had 2? Oh, 2.
Do you want me to give you the timeline here?
So wait a minute. You had 2. So give me the time. So we heard about the Kia boys, and you had 2 Kias in the span between 2020 and 2020 what?
2022.
When did you buy your first Kia?
Bought my first Kia in like June of 2020 during the pandemic.
June of 2020 during the pandemic, you bought your first Kia. What happened to that first Kia?
Mind you.
Oh, in Racine. Okay.
Racine.
Got it.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to move to Milwaukee. End of June and beginning of like July. The world was bright. Sun was shining. Everything great ahead on the horizon.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
And stolen from my driveway.
Stolen from your driveway?
Woke up the next day and said, something's not right here. Walked upstairs, said, my car's gone. I said, lovely. It's a pandemic, so at that time, they're like, okay, well, you have to come. Actually, no, yeah, it was a pandemic, which is weird because they're like, you have to come into the police station to file a police report. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to the police station and my car just got stolen, how does that make sense? How am I about to get there when I just had my car stolen? Why are we not having an online form for me to fill out a police report when my car was stolen? So I had to find a way there. That was 2020 on Humboldt, near Capitol.
Humboldt, near Capitol. What year was that? Oh, you said 2020?
2020 was 2014 Kia Optima.
So so you got your Kia stolen. Had you heard about the Kia boys at that time?
I did not hear about them.
So wait, when your car got stolen, you had no idea about the Kia boys yet?
No idea. It was 2020. We're all in the house.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
Okay, yeah, you're right. The Kia boys probably took over 2021.
Yeah, I've only ever heard of this issue starting in the pandemic, especially when mine happened. Fast forward 2022, I got a Kia Soul. So I got a Kia Soul. Easy. I was like, all right, maybe this was a one-off situation. Maybe just a bad area.
Less attractive vehicle.
I don't know. I love my Kia Soul. That was my favorite car.
The little square box.
I loved it.
What do you mean? I loved it. What happened to that one?
It got stolen as well. So that one went through the ringer. So I moved to Brady, around Brady or wherever in that area, and that car went through the ringer. It was, remember that snow squall that we had? That random snow squall.
Oh my gosh, I was driving in it. Yes.
Someone hit and ran my car.
Oh wow, couldn't see.
Couldn't get into that driver's side of the car for a week. Had a car on the other side. Just had to take that L.
Oh.
Then my car, the window was smashed. Maybe like March of 2022.
Why did the window get smashed?
Someone was trying to break in and steal.
Oh, they're trying to. Did you have a little thing on it?
Had a car lock. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll get a car lock or wheel lock.
And now your window busted.
Now my window's busted.
And they could see the car lock. They just bust your window just because it bust.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're just trying to like steal guns. That's what I heard. The grapevine at that time, they had like a whole slew of cars having their windows busted. Fast forward to the end of the year, boom, car gone again, stolen again. That time, it was reported that, or allegedly reported that, a 8th grader stole the car. They found an 8th grade ID.
A 13, 14-year-old stole your car?
Stole my car.
That's
and
wild.
one of their teachers saw them.
Oh,
so there was a witness. When I tell you,
the teacher snitched.
She snitched. Nothing happened.
What they gonna do, Rhea?
I mean,
I throw me on bars.
Testify.
Did he have to pay for your repairs?
Nothing happened.
Oh wow! So you got your car stolen twice. Kia stolen twice. So what did you do after that?
So then I was like, all right. My friend's like, hey, my grandpa he's old. We're gonna put him in a home. He's gonna come inside. He doesn't even drive anymore. He was a 2010 Nissan Maxima.
Oh, them is nice.
It was 2010. Not an old, like not nothing great, but it was like it's gonna give me to and fro.
But you didn't have a Kia. You didn't have a Hyundai.
Nope. I thought it was a decent car to have.
So wait a minute. What happened with your 2010 Nissan?
This past fall, also stolen.
Stop
no, not this fall. Actually, no. It was this January, the day before inauguration.
It got stolen. Wait, what happened?
Was it the day before? No, the day after.
Well, regardless, but what happened?
I'm just saying, it's been a bad year.
It's been a bad. Yeah. So what happened to this one?
Just parked it. Went inside my house. Busy street. Everything. Again, busy street. There's everything going on. You can see people here and there. I get in. I woke up the next day. Said, not again. Walk around the block, do my little walk. I said, my car is gone. Call my mom. I'm like, all right, I'm calm. I'm like,
a 2010
this car
Nissan
is gone. A car was parked where my car was parked.
That's messed up. So you just walked outside, your car was gone.
My car was gone, and another car was in the.
But what was going through your mind? Because you said, I ain't got a Kia, so I got rid of that. I ain't got a Hyundai.
There's no glass on the ground, just poof out of thin air. I was like, am I going crazy?
So Rhea, I think I have an answer to what exactly happened to your car, because there has been this thing going around for the last couple of years, about 3 years, about key reprogrammers. Truth Nation, I want you to tap in and listen to this story from TMJ4 News.
This handheld computer is a car key fob programmer, and it's what robbers are taking from mobile locksmiths at gunpoint in Milwaukee. The latest target was the driver of this unmarked locksmith van late Tuesday night. Fearing retaliation, the owner of Lucky Locksmith doesn't want to be identified.
What happened with Tuesday night's robbery?
As soon as my technician arrived on site, he got surprised by two armed men. At that point, they took all his belongings and stole the work vehicle.
Thieves drove off with the key fob programmer in the van on North 36th Street, south of Hampton, just before midnight.
The owner says you can still see the fingerprint dust from where police pulled evidence from the van last night.
Just days before, armed robbers targeted this Lucky Locksmith van and one of his other technicians Friday night. And locksmith Diego Barrera is taking extra precautions after being robbed at gunpoint earlier this year.
They pushed me back of the car, showed me the gun, his gun.
What will they do with this key fob programmer?
Basically, they can program almost 70-80% of the brands. Dodge, Ford, Nissan.
Milwaukee police sent this bulletin to other police departments, warning the equipment targeted has the ability to plug into any vehicle's ignition to program key fobs and override a vehicle's security system to start a vehicle.
I need to be careful.
In Milwaukee, Terry Sater, WISN.
That was story broke 3 years ago. Yes, that was a story from 3 years ago from when that happened. And so now what they're doing is now these kids are so smart.
I don't think that was kids, though. I don't think kids did this.
Kids, Korea, there's 15-year-old little boys as Ben and Carrie would call them YNs. No, there's young folks who are stealing these because what they do is now, what they do is you could order offline a key reprogram.
Right. That's what the police told me.
Which is crazy. You can order it, so now they can reprogram it. Now they're saying you got to put your key in foil. If you have a push-to-start, it's push-to-start vehicle. So your Nissan, you got a push-to-start Nissan from 2010, huh?
Yeah, it was a nice car.
Push-to-start Nissan Rhea had was stolen because they reprogrammed the car without the key, which is crazy to me.
But my thing is, if this information came to the police department 3 years ago, why are there no alerts? Why am I getting my car stolen? Then going to the police station, they're like, oh yeah, they have this technology and this is what's going on right now.
I'm gonna tell you this right now about MPD. When I there was another article, we ain't got time to play it, but there was an article them talking about how car thefts are down from 2020, 2021. They're down 33%. They had 6,000 car stolen. So you need to tell me y'all still got 3,000 cars being stolen? Y'all talking about this down when we had a pandemic during that time where they were stealing cars?
Yeah, we're doing nothing. And no one's being informed.
And so, Rhea, I want to ask you this. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to Text line. You can also watch and stream us live as I'm being joined by Rhea Riley, who is now a producer on 620 WTMJ spanning the state, but also a former and still a Truth teammate at heart here with 1017 The Truth, joining us here for Women's History Month. You're upset because you got your Kia stolen. Yep. You got your Nissan stolen because they reprogrammed it.
Yeah.
What do you want people to do? Do you want the parents to start paying fines? Do you want them to have to do some type of community service, pay off their debt somehow? What do you want the community to do, and what do you want the punishment to be for stealing these cars?
I need something because I'm just taking L's, and now my life has changed. We're at the point where not this job, but my other job that I really appreciate that I work hard to get to is teaching kids. They teach kids how to dance, and I don't have a way to get to teaching.
You still ain't got no car yet?
I still don't have a car. Do you know how expensive used cars are now?
Girl, do you get an insurance claim for your car?
I do an insurance claim, but that's not enough to get a decent car. Half the cars that are used right now that are not Kias, that are not Hondas, are $10,000+ or whatnot. I didn't plan my year saving to buy another car.
I'm laughing. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
Let me wipe this smirk off my face. So how do you get to work every day?
The way I've been shucking and driving. I'm using a friend's car right now. I've had people give me rides here and there. I've had to do Uber. I've had to do Lyft.
You know, Rhea,
scooter.
you remind me of Issa Rae from.
Don't.
you out here struggling.
Insecure.
You out here
I'm waiting
struggling.
for my season 4. I need this right now.
Gosh.
It's not it.
But no, this is for real though. There should be no reason why somebody should have to suffer and go through this, right? Like at this point now, it is becoming even more taxing for you because to buy a new car, ain't nobody save for all that. Nobody's saving for that. Like
a third time in 5 years.
3 new cars in 5 years. That's something that is hard to do.
Nothing's getting done. And and the thing is that really bothers me is it's my own people.
Dang, you gonna call out our people like that?
Why can't I? The first time I had some forgiveness. I said, okay, God, you're testing me. I hear it. The second time I said it's on site.
How you know the last one was black people? Why are you looking at me like that, Rhea? How you know? It could have been some little white Kia boys or some white reprogrammers.
Okay, show me when you see that. When that ever happens, you send me the link.
You know what's so for me when I look at this, right? Like I don't. it's so hard because I don't think we need to be continuing to lock up these little kids because kids make mistakes. But this is no. We gotta
went from worse to worse, sir.
No, it did. These kids are smart as hell. Like they pick up these trends. They know all these trends. Like
use it for good. You're taking from your own people.
They're exploring, Rhea. They're just exploring.
I don't give a. I don't care.
833-212-1017. Quick, we got 30 seconds here for you to caller. You have a comment about the Kia boys. Now the reprogramming boys.
Oh, now they've changed the name.
They reprogramming cars. There's still more cars now. They get 80% of cars can be reprogrammed. Or I shouldn't say cars. 80% of manufactured cars. So Ford, all that.
I say two things should happen. Since they're such great hackers and programmers, part of their sentence should be to accomplish some higher education during the time that they're on probation, and when they attain gainful employment, to buy Miss Riley a car and people like her. It should have long-term ramifications,
Absolutely.
which create the same. You know how you have a pipeline of people who teach these young people to do this so that they don't go to jail, and who collect the parts from these cars, when they bring them, if they do. At times, you would create a pipeline of people who have survived and maybe didn't crash into a pole and learned a valuable skill.
Thank
you, but I want my money back. I want a car. I want a way to get around. Lock the kids up at this point.
Lock them up. He over here talking about lock them up. Zach over here putting stuff in tinfoil because y'all here wilding. 833-212-1017. We'll wrap up the show. That is Rhea Riley, who is here talking about her experience. And she just said she had 3 separate cars stolen by Kia boys and a Kia reprogrammer. And she said it's time to lock these little damn kids up. We'll wrap up, get her final thoughts on the other side. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Join your boy Tory Lowe and the Truth Team for our community cleanup on Saturday, April 12th. Go to truthcommunitycleanup.com to sign up to volunteer at one of our 3 cleanup locations. Everyone who joins gets a free lunch provided by Cousin Subs. Register today by visiting truthcommunitycleanup.com. Bring the whole family to help clean our city. The Tory Lowe Cleanup is presented by 1MKE and sponsored by Cousin Subs, Ray's Coca-Cola, Landmark Credit Union, U.S. Cellular, and Waste Management.
With Donald Trump dismantling the Federal Department of Education, we need to make sure we have someone we trust running Wisconsin public schools. That's Democrat Jill Underly. As state superintendent, Democrat Jill Underly has fought to reduce class sizes, expand career and technical education, and she worked to pass a new literacy law that will help improve young kids' reading abilities. Her opponent is Republican lobbyist Brittany Kinzer. Kinzer is backed by the same MAGA millionaires that put Donald Trump in the White House. And when Republican lobbyist Brittany Kinzer was asked about Donald Trump dismantling the Department of Education, Kinzer said, quote, "It's fine." Well, it's not fine, Brittany. We need someone to lead Wisconsin public schools who will be a champion for our kids and community, not a puppet for Donald Trump and the Republicans. On Election Day, April 1st, vote for Democrat Jill Underly for state superintendent. Paid for by the Democratic Party of Wisconsin, authorized by Underly for WI.
Milwaukee, it's time for a mandate. We Energies has raised rates 7 times in the last 12 years, and now they're planning new gas plants and extending the life of old coal plants in Oak Creek. That's an investment scheme where only shareholders win. We need a mandate. No new power plants or coal extensions until affordability is guaranteed for all. Join us at the public hearing on Tuesday, March 25th at 1 p.m. at the Oak Creek Community Center Ballroom. It's time to show up, speak out, and demand change. Milwaukee, let's make our voices heard.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because their home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote from an agent at amfam.com. Products are not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Walsh, the host of Truth to Power. I'm joined by my guest co-host today for Women's History Month, Rhea Riley, who is a teammate here at 1017 The Truth in Good Karma Brands. Rhea told the story about how her car got stolen. 2 Kias stolen since 2020. And then she said, I'm done with Kia, and she got herself a Nissan, and the kids reprogrammed her key. For those who may get their car stolen, if you got a key fob for your car or push to start, put your key fob in tinfoil because that blocks them from being able to reprogram your car. Is it Rhea's fault or is it the kids' fault?
Kids' fault, 1000%.
What is your final thoughts on this, Rhea?
I want something to be done. I think if these kids are, I'm mad at the parents. I'm mad at the city. I'm mad that there's no reimbursement for victims. It's not just me because 6,000 cars have been stolen. Yes. I just want us to do better, and I'm really mad at my own people because they're stealing from their own people.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks. They're too young to understand the impact that they have. For me, when I think about this, I do think that we need to make sure we're holding parents responsible when we catch these kids. We need to make sure the parents are paying fines, but then on top of that, maybe we have them do some type of community service, right? Like maybe you put some of these kids in Vincent in the automotive program they have there, or maybe do some community service at an auto shop. Maybe we take this and say, listen, you did something stupid, and you're going to have to do some service here learning how to actually be an auto mechanic, and we're going to set you up. But we definitely got to do something because we cannot continue to allow our community to be victimized. But I want to say thank you so much, Rhea, for joining us today on Truth to Power. Truth Nation, Brad Schimmel, he canceled on us. The clock is ticking. I'm going to check with his people to see if he can come on tomorrow because I think it's important that he joins us on Truth to Power and not ignore the black community. Susan Crawford came on multiple times. He can as well. So I will definitely keep holding his feet to the fire to try to get him to join us to be able to speak to our community. But with that information, get out and vote. You can vote early right now. Early voting has already begun in the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin. You can early vote until March 29th. Google early voting Milwaukee to find out all the polling locations where you can go and vote early. So I really push people to vote early. Election day is a week from today, April 1st. Make sure you get out and vote and choose the candidate that will fight for Wisconsinites and aligns with your vision of what you want Wisconsin to be. But again, thank you, Rhea Riley, again for joining us here today. Thank you, Truth Nation, for joining us here today on Truth to Power. The Tori Lowe Show is up next. Peace out. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Milwaukee Black Talk.
And Joe Biden wasn't very controversial. He wasn't. Now, he might have done some things in his long, storied past, but if you all have been in the same line of work for